This is the truth about getting rich. They'll never teach you in school.
They gave you a backpack, a desk, a bell schedule, and a dream. They told you to follow the rules, raise your hand, do your homework, and someday you'd make it. But what they never told you, what they couldn't tell you, is this: getting rich doesn't come from following rules. It comes from rewriting them. And the truth school wasn't designed to make you rich. It was designed to make you obedient, to reward memorization, not innovation, to grade your silence, not your vision, to make you fear mistakes more than mediocrity. Because when you fear being wrong, you never dare to be great. And that fear follows people their whole lives. They leave the classroom, but they never leave the conditioning. They play it safe. They wait to be picked. They wait for instructions, for promotions, for permission from a world that never intended to give it. But let me tell you something right now. Wealth was never created in a classroom. It was created in the wild, in the chaos, in the risk, in the real-world labs of failure adaptation and relentless self-belief. And if you're still believing that the path to wealth is paved with degrees and diplomas, then you're still chasing a blueprint that was never written for your freedom. That's the truth they never taught you. The rich don't play the game, they build the board. They understand something most people never will, that wealth is not earned through labor. It's earned through leverage. Not leverage over people, leverage over systems. And you don't learn that in school. You don't learn how to negotiate. You don't learn how to build assets. You don't learn how to scale, how to compound, how to invest, how to delegate, how to turn time into freedom. You learn how to trade time for money. You learn how to sit still, wait your turn, and not disrupt the order. But wealth is a disruption. It's saying, I will no longer sell my life in hourly slices. I will no longer bow to someone else's idea of stability. I will no longer chase paychecks when I can build machines that pay me. The rich don't work for money, they make money work for them. And that's a mindset that school doesn't just ignore, it actively discourages. You see, they gave you math but not money. They gave you history but not ownership. They gave you literature but never taught you to write your own script. They taught you how to fit in, not how to stand out. They taught you how to solve problems for others, not how to create solutions for the world. And that's why most people live paycheck to paycheck. Not because they're lazy, not because they're not intelligent, but because they were never shown the truth. The truth that wealth is not a result of hard work, it's a result of hard thinking. That the grind will wear you down unless it's building towards something scalable. That time is the most expensive currency, and if you don't learn how to multiply it, you will always be poor no matter what's in your account. Because being rich isn't about having more, it's about needing less and controlling more. Control of your hours, control of your income, control of your decisions, and if you don't have control, you don't have wealth, you have wages, you have survival, you have exhaustion wrapped in a paycheck, but you don't have freedom. And that's the ultimate lie no one corrects in the classroom, that success is about grades, not grit, about resumes, not results. The world doesn't care about your GPA. It cares about your ability to solve a problem. So well, people pay you for it over and over again, whether you're awake or not. That's wealth. And it's not reserved for geniuses. It's not reserved for the top 1%. It's not reserved for those who had it handed to them. It's reserved for those who wake up. Those who say, I will unlearn everything they taught me that made me small. I will rebuild my mind to think like a builder, not a beggar. I will rise not because they told me to, but because I choose to. Getting rich isn't about money, it's about identity. It's about becoming the kind of person wealth can't ignore. You want the truth, money flows to clarity, to purpose, to value, to those who build solutions and systems, not just skill sets. And school trained you to be a tool in someone else's machine. But the wealthy become designers of their own engines. They study differently. They move differently. They think in terms of ownership, not tasks. And every single day, they buy back their time one smart decision at a time. Not through lottery, not through luck, but through leverage learning and long-term thinking. And that's where your transformation begins. Right now, right here, in the decision to break the mold. In the choice to stop memorizing and start understanding. To stop obeying and start leading. To stop grinding blindly and start building deliberately. Because here's what they'll never teach you in school. The most dangerous person is the one who knows how to think. because that person can never be controlled. That person can never be confined. That person doesn't wait for opportunity, they create it. And that person is who you were meant to be all along. You were meant to lead. You were meant to disrupt. You were meant to take the bricks they threw at you and build something unshakable. But first you must unlearn. Unlearn the fear of failure they drilled into you with red ink and test scores. Unlearn the belief that a job title defines your worth. Unlearn the lie that your future depends on someone else's approval. Because school didn't prepare you for wealth, it prepared you to follow. But wealth isn't about following, it's about becoming. And becoming requires clarity, not vague dreams, not empty affirmations, not wishful thinking. Real clarity. Clarity about who you are. Clarity about what you're building. Clarity about the cost and the discipline to pay it. Most people don't get rich not because they lack talent, but because they lack focus. They chase trends. They change lanes every week. They dabble instead of dominating, and the market punishes dabblers. Because money doesn't go to the loudest, it goes to the clearest. The one who knows exactly what problem they solve, who they solve it for, and how to do it better than anyone else. You can't build wealth without vision, and you can't build vision if your mind is clouded by noise. So silence the world, cut the distractions. Turn down the volume on everyone telling you who to be, and finally ask yourself, what do I want to own in this life? Your time, your name, your freedom, your mind. Because if you don't claim it, someone else will. And here's the hard truth, wealth demands purpose. You don't get rich by wanting money, you get rich by building something that matters. To someone, somewhere, in some way that can scale. That's the difference between income and wealth. Income is what you earn when you work. Wealth is what you earn when you don't. And to create that kind of machine, you need purpose that outlives motivation. Motivation fades. It dies in the rain. It evaporates with the first failure. It hides when the numbers don't show up. But purpose survives the dark. It wakes you up at 5 a.m. even when no one is watching. It tells you to write the email, make the call, finish the design, even when you're broke, tired, and doubting everything. It anchors you when the world says you should quit. Because the ones who make it, the ones who truly build wealth, don't have stronger willpower. They have a deeper reason, and that reason is their fuel. It turns frustration into fire, setbacks into strategy, doubt into data. They know the road is brutal. They know the climb is lonely. But they also know this: there is no elevator to freedom, only stairs. And most people never get rich because they want the outcome without the becoming. But wealth is never about having, it's about who you become in the process of building it. The one who studies instead of scrolling, the one who invests instead of impressing, the one who sacrifices the weekend for the next 10 years of freedom, the one who doesn't chase status but builds legacy. This is what school never showed you, that wealth is not a destination, it's a result of long-term vision, of short-term discipline, of relentless execution, of hundreds of lonely decisions that stack into one undeniable life. And you don't get there by hoping. You get there by engineering your advantage, by learning faster, acting smarter, failing forward, and never ever giving your power away to people who stop chasing their own dream. You have one life, one shot, and you can use it to follow the map they handed you. Or you can throw that map in the fire and draw your own. But know this, no one is coming to give you permission. No one is coming to make it easier. No one is going to do it for you. This is your responsibility. This is your mountain. This is your moment. So what now? Do you keep walking the path they paved for you? Or do you break the cycle and build the life that was always waiting because now you know the truth? Getting rich isn't taught. It's chosen, it's earned, it's built in silence, in sacrifice, and in full ownership of your future. Now that you've seen the truth, you can't go back. You can't unlearn it. You can't unsee it. You can't go back to sitting in classrooms of life waiting for someone to grade your potential. Because the real world doesn't hand out report cards. It hands out consequences and rewards based not on intention, but on execution. And here's the hard edge of it all. You are already paying the price. You're either paying the price of discipline today or the price of regret tomorrow. You're either investing your time into building something that will last or renting your life out 1 hour at a time for just enough to get by. You're either becoming the architect of your wealth or a tool in someone else's machine. There is no neutral ground. You want the truth about getting rich. Here it is. It demands everything that school never trained you to master. It demands discipline when your friends are out partying. It demands vision when the world only sees what's in front of them. It demands courage to lose publicly again and again while you win privately. It demands belief that outlasts results. It demands resilience when every logical reason tells you to stop. Most people were taught how to pass tests. But wealth. Wealth tests you in real life with no syllabus, no grades, and no second chances. It asks you, can you keep going when the money doesn't show up yet? Can you adapt when the market shifts overnight? Can you become the kind of person who doesn't just make money, but multiplies it? Because the rich don't just make more. They think differently. They don't ask, can I afford it? They ask, how can I create it? They don't say I need a job. They ask, how can I build something so valuable people pay me forever? They don't look for comfort. They look for control. And that control doesn't come from knowledge alone. It comes from action. Action most people never take. Action that looks foolish in the beginning. Action that feels uncertain, unpolished, unpaid until one day it all compounds. You think the rich are lucky? No. They just stayed in the game longer than everyone who quit too soon. They just kept learning after everyone else thought they already knew enough. They kept building when the results weren't showing because they understood this truth: consistency compounds more than intensity. It's not what you do once, it's what you do every day. Every email, every decision, every dollar, every hour of focused work adds up to something the average person never sees: momentum. And once you have momentum, wealth becomes a byproduct, not a goal. But here's what most people miss: momentum isn't found. It's forged in discipline and sacrifice, in commitment to a standard the world will never understand. Because let's be honest, most people aren't willing to pay that price. They want rich results with average habits. They want million-dollar lives with minimum wage mindsets. They want passive income without ever building anything worth getting paid for. And that's why school failed them. Not because school didn't teach them enough, but because it didn't teach them to demand more from themselves. So now it's on you. No more blaming the system, no more waiting for mentors, no more hoping someone else will notice your worth. Because you're not here to be noticed. You're here to be undeniable, to take your pain and turn it into power, to take your past and turn it into purpose, to take your potential and finally make it real. Not just for the money, but for the freedom, for the power to say yes when others say no, for the power to walk away from anything that no longer serves your mission, for the power to wake up every day and own your time, your energy, your direction. That's the truth they never gave you in school. That freedom is the real wealth, and every day you wait is one more day you stay poor in power. So decide now, will you repeat what they taught you, or will you unlearn, relearn, and rebuild yourself into someone wealth flows to because it has no choice? The classroom is closed, but life is open, and it's watching what you'll do with this knowledge. Because now, you have no excuse. You know the truth. Now that you know the truth, what will you do with it? Will you walk back into the crowd, back to the comfort zone that's never paid you more than survival? Back to the borrowed beliefs and recycled routines that left your potential untouched? Or will you rise? Will you rise with clarity, knowing exactly who you are and what you're building? Will you rise with vision, a future so clear in your mind that the present bends to its shape? Will you rise with discipline, the daily decisions that seem invisible now, but echo into forever? Will you rise with purpose, the kind that outlives trends, applause, and every doubt you've ever known? Because listen, this world doesn't need more educated followers. It needs builders. It needs thinkers. It needs people like you, not afraid to rewrite the rules, reclaim the hours, and rebuild a life on your terms. It needs people who don't just talk about freedom, but become it. And that only happens when you finally stop asking, what do I do next? And start declaring, this is who I am now. You don't need permission. You don't need credentials. You don't need a classroom. You need a decision. A decision to stop giving your time to things that drain your power. A decision to build assets instead of buying distractions. A decision to lead yourself so powerfully that the world starts following without you asking. This is your moment, because real wealth doesn't begin in your wallet. It begins in your mind. It begins when you stop outsourcing responsibility for your life. It begins when you stop blaming what school didn't teach you and start building what school never could. Because they'll never teach you how to get rich. They'll never teach you how to own, because ownership makes you dangerous. And dangerous people don't obey, they lead. So lead now. Lead with your actions. Lead with your hunger. Lead with your story. Lead with your discipline. Let every step you take become a page in a new textbook, one they'll never publish, because it was never meant to be taught. It was meant to be lived. And the ones who live it, they don't chase money. They don't chase status. They don't chase approval. They chase mastery. They chase leverage. They chase freedom until one day they stop chasing altogether, because they become the thing they once pursued. They become wealth. They become wisdom. They become the proof that it's possible to break the cycle and build your own. And now, so can you. No more delay, no more excuses, no more pretending you don't know what to do. You do. You do because you've seen the truth. You do because your heart is beating faster right now. You do because something inside you knows you weren't born to work for the rest of your life. You were born to own it. So go, start, create, fail, learn, reinvest, outlast. And when they ask how you did it, tell them the truth. I unlearned everything they taught me in school. And I built the life they told me wasn't possible. Now go build.